counsel to Mr. Kanu, Michael Zekame, drew the attention of the court to the 6-count amended charge filed by the prosecution against the already existing 7 counts. He noted that they were served with the charge a day to today's proceedings, and his client, Mr. Kanu, has not had the opportunity to go through the amended charge. The prosecution on its part insisted that the charges are same, but they just narrowed it down from 7 to 6. But the defense counsel insists that when a charge is amended, the defendant ought to take a new plea since new elements have been introduced into the charge. Justice Binta Yanko held that the prosecution cannot at every opportunity decide to amend the charge. Although provisions of the ACJA allows for amendment of charge at any point of the trial, there must be an end to it. This amendment will be the 7th amendment made by the prosecution. The prosecution subsequently withdrew the amended charge to continue with the initial 7 counts. In the course of the proceedings, Mr. Zekame brought an application seeking the court to set aside the earlier order granted which revoked the bail of Mr. Kanu, ordered for his arrest, and ordered his trial to continue in his absence. Mr. Zekame noted that Mr. Kanu only fled for his life and did not jump bail.
Court have graciously heard the application of the defendant and have denied the defendant bail, consistent with the extant laws and the position of the prosecution.
Shows that Section 15 of the Extradition Act must come into play, which is that Nnamdi Kanu left Nigeria involuntarily when they were about to kill him and found himself abroad before he was renditioned back forcefully in a most gruesome manner.
As early as 8 a.m., a crowd of party supporters had gathered at the Secretariat to protest alleged hijack of the World Congress to elect the delegates to vote in the party primaries. The protesters claimed that the leadership of the All Progressives Congress had arranged to exclude supporters of one governorship aspirant, Senator Magnus Abe, from the process.
The material for this election is not even in Rivers State. Everything has been written, the names has been written, the name has been entered. But let me say this, Rivers APC will remain stagnant until the National Secretariat and the presidency decide to do the right thing.
With what they have done now, they have selected those of them they feel that will vote the electoral college by themselves. They should allow us go back to the masses so that the masses will elect the people they want that will represent.
Even with the presence of mobile policemen and the arrival of several tactical units and reinforcements, the protesters insisted on stopping the World Congresses from holding. Some security personnel resorted to firing live ammunition to prevent the crowd from forcefully gaining entrance into the party secretariat. In spite of the violence, the All Progressives Congress says the exercise held in all the 319 wards of the state. The party denies all the allegations, insisting that aspirants for all elective positions will be given a level playing field to contest the primaries.
A lot of the youths who are out there are not members of the APC. They do not know what the party is doing today. So how can it affect when our members are the various wards going through the primary processes? It doesn't affect us in any way.
As the clock ticked, the crowd increased in size. Several hours after the protest, and with the fear that the situation could further deteriorate, the police released tear gas canisters and fired shots into the air to disperse the crowd. Uche Okoro, TVC News, Port Harcourt.
Until last week Thursday, David Imo Sunday used to be a sound engineer that has worked on some very notable projects. But all that is now history, as David was killed and burnt in what can be described as a most gruesome manner. This incident has changed the life of his family and loved ones. Grace Bolu Sunday David is the widow of David Imo Sunday. She's surrounded by sympathizers from Ijede Local Council Development Area, Ikorodu, where she works.
my husband was inside beer barn where they had to play that night. It was setting up. Why the two other guys were the one that mounted the bike. But the guy said, I don't have 100 naira. So that was where the fight, everything started from. So some people had to just go inside the bar to go call my husband and other colleagues that they are fighting, or I'm fighting our guys outside. And he had to join with other colleagues to at least find a way of settling it. So when the lady said, when my husband found out the fight was becoming to me, he had to run back into the bar, at least for safety. But as he ran into the bar, went to hide somewhere. Someone was just pointing, no, he's hiding here, he's hiding here. And he said for the manager of the bar that I've been seeing him set up there to like cover him when he was being asked that, do you know him? He said, I don't know him, I don't know him, I don't know him. So they pushed him out.
Having visited the lounge earlier, we put a call across to them, but instead of responding verbally, they sent a press release. The statement explained how a mob attempted to forcefully gain entrance into the facility. We requested to know what the issue was and was told that David hit someone with a charm for ritual purposes. The mob, according to the statement, took the deceased away and the internal security of the lounge could not stop them. The statement also claimed the lounge had called Rapid Response Squad, but it didn't yield any fruit. As the accusation and counter-accusation continue, David's widow is calling for justice for her late husband.